So it's time. It's an exciting time for me, exciting transition. It's time. I am not looking for a driver. I have 2 trucks, I have 2 trailers, and I'm looking to expand my business. Yes, I need somebody to drive the white truck. Yes, but I'm not looking for a driver. I'm looking for a partner. I'm looking for a team member. I'm looking for a family member. Somebody to help me expand and grow my business. There are several other things that I value more than the driving aspect when it comes to choosing somebody to put in that driver's seat. First and foremost, I'm looking for communication. I'm looking for honesty. I'm looking for somebody who's going to suit up and show up and give me 12 hours of work for 12 hours of pay, or 8 hours of work for 8 hours of pay, whatever it works out to be. We'll get into the pay in a second, but I think it's going to be more than generous. And the reasons why I'm willing to pay more is because, yes, I am going to expect more. I'm going to want more. I am looking for somebody who's going to do more than just drive. And that is something that I really want to stress before we go any farther, is I'm not looking for a driver. I'm looking for somebody who is going to come in and kind of come into my inner circle and come in with my customers and come in with me and help me grow and expand. I've already proven to myself that it can be done, and not to belittle what I've done, but anybody can drive. I'm living proof of that. I had no driving experience, no commercial driving experience when I started this business, and I became a full-time commercial driver, and I figured it out and I did it. So the driving aspect, yes, it needs to be safe. Yes, it will be legal. Everything is going to be by the books when it comes to this transition and adding somebody, adding a team member onto my team. If you're still watching, if you're still listening, if you're still interested, my equipment is pretty much brand new. The truck's a year old this month. Actually, a couple days ago. I bought it a year ago. And the equipment, my trailer is also new. I got one that's 6 months old and one that's 2 years old. And everything is very well maintained. I spend a lot of money on maintenance, and I pretty much don't spend any money on breakdowns because I spend a lot of money and I take care and maintain my equipment. It's been a little bit of a struggle. I've had to change mechanics and find other people to help me out recently in the last few months, but I have been able to achieve that. I have been off for a couple weeks, and that has allotted me time to take both trailers in and get them in tip-top running condition, change some things that I wanted to change. Also with the trucks, I've been able to get the black truck up and running, get the white truck, balance, alignment, fenders on the truck, all kinds of different stuff I've been working on in preparation for this move, for this transition, I should say. My equipment, I treat it well. I maintain my equipment well, and I will expect the same from whomever gets into the driver's seat after me. Now let's talk about pay. Hi, Bella. My cat wants to be on the video. Say hi, Bella. There is going to be a rate per mile. So you're going to get paid per mile that you drive from the start of your trip to the end of your trip. From the time that truck and trailer leaves my yard, we will check the odometer until the time that it returns. That is not empty miles, loaded miles, that's any kind of miles. If I tell you, I don't care, I want you to take a 300-mile way around something, then I will be paying for that. So in addition to per mile, I am also going to pay per stop. It's pretty clear to me that, and it should be clear to anybody, that when you are stopping to load or unload, you are not making miles. So that time should be compensated. So there will be a per stop flat rate compensation. And there's also going to be a bonus program, and I'm going to get more into that if you guys decide to actually apply. For those who actually do want to apply, there's going to be a couple different bonuses that I'm going to offer, and I think those things are going to be fair and incentives. So that also leaves a little bit of flexibility. It's definitely not going to be a flat rate. It's definitely not going to be a flat rate amount. It's not per day, it's not per hour, it's not just per mile. This is an employed position. Moving on to the requirements, if you're still listening, if you're still watching, I do need somebody that's over 35 years of age. I do need somebody that has a Class A license, and I do need somebody with a clean background and a clean driving record. That means no accidents in the last couple years, and hopefully no tickets as well. So that being said, those are the basic requirements of that. Obviously, you know, you need to be able to pass a drug test and do all of that type of stuff. Now let's go on to my preferences. I park my equipment here at my house. I am lucky enough to have a property that's large enough thus far to accommodate my 2 trucks and 2 trailers. That being said, I would prefer to have somebody based in Southern California, or at least based fairly locally to me, living fairly locally to me. And the reason for that is I do my maintenance usually on the weekends, and I need the truck and trailer here in order for me to make that stuff happen. And number 2, I run, and when I come home for the weekend. And my hope is to get somebody on the same schedule, whether the weekend only consists of 32 hours and you got to go back out again, or whether the weekend consists of 65 hours and, you know, you had a light day Friday, so you came home early, you know, parked the truck here early and you went home until Monday morning. You know, I don't know what that weekend is going to look like. However, I think it's fair to offer somebody, the potential candidate, a weekend off. And in order to achieve that weekend off, you're probably going to have to be close to me, because I do want to see my equipment on a regular basis, and I do need to get it maintained and correct things. Things always happen. Things are constantly coming up. For me, I do a lot of maintenance, so I don't expect any different when somebody else is driving. So I would prefer that you're semi-close to me, so that you can drive here, park your car or truck, and take off in my rig, be gone for however long that is. Hopefully, you know, no until the weekend, and then come back and then grab your car and go home. Go home and enjoy a weekend. Whether you do nothing or whether you do everything, it's up to you. But I would like to keep that type of schedule, and the reason behind that a lot is the balance. I believe it's important to balance the long days behind the wheel with some type of home time or family time, or whatever that you choose that to be. If you're just a Harley person, you want to go home so you can, you know, jump right back and take another ride up the coast for 2 days, or whatever the case may be. I think that it's important to balance. I would prefer to find somebody with Hotshot experience, but it is a must that whomever the candidate is, that you've had your license for at least 2 years, your Class A license for at least 2 years. I would prefer that the person had car hauling experience, although I can train that. I am not closed to the idea of having somebody out of state work for me. I can make that work. But again, we go back to the maintenance side of things. And if I can't, I mean, when I need to maintain my stuff, it's going to be here in Southern California. And that's going to mean you're going to have to hang out for a day or 2 or maybe 3 in order for me to get the stuff maintained so you can go back out on the road. There's going to be a lot of flexibility in this job. And what I mean by that is I have 2 rigs and I have 2 trailers. So if for some reason you have a doctor's appointment that you have to be to on Wednesday, So you can't go out of town, you can't run, you know, far out of town, then you'll run locally in my other truck. And I'll go out of town that week, or the truck will sit, or the truck will get maintained, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't mean that there's no opportunity for you to continue to work. This is going to be a full-time gig. This is going to be a full-time gig. Expect 12-hour days, possibly more. Expect five days a week, possibly more. There is going to be a lot of flexibility in this. And like I said, I need a partner. I need somebody that's going to help me, and that's not just looking for a job. I'm looking for somebody to kind of bring into my inner circle, and I don't mind a little bit of training. I'm certainly not just going to throw you a set of keys and say, "Okay, thanks, bye." No, you're going to have to prove. You're going to have to prove to me. We're going to have to work together for a bit, and make sure that I am setting you up. My goal is to set you up for success, and set the truck and the rig up for success, and open the floodgates to my customers and say, "All right, give me whatever you got. We got 2 trucks and trailers running now. What? And I'll get a 3rd." So I dropped a lot of money into, I invested a lot of money into purchasing a second truck and trailer. Probably after the end of this, it's going to be more like $70,000 on a second truck and second trailer, so that I could make this move. And I don't just pull $70 out of my, back pocket. $70,000 out of my back pocket. That's a lot of money for me. And I want to make sure that I do this right, and that this works. And I don't want to run through a lot of candidates. So if you're not 100% all in, and if you're not looking to be a part of the family and to grow this thing with me, if you're just looking for a job, this is not the place for you, because I will be expecting a lot, and I will be asking for a lot. And I'm also going to be very fair when it comes to benefits and pay and flexibility, and holding my end of the bargain up by maintaining your equipment and making sure that I keep you safe in my equipment when you're out on the road, so that you can keep my cargo safe while you're out on the road. So now let's get into how you can apply. If you're still watching this and you're still interested and you're still down for all of this stuff that I'm talking about, I have set up a 4th or a 5th tier on my Patreon page. So you guys will have to go to www.patreon.com/HotshotAdventures, and you're gonna have to sign up for Patreon for $1. I put the tier up for $1, and that is just because I'm not trying to make money off of all of you applicants. That's not what it's about. Patreon was the only way that I could figure to accept the applications on a more confidential basis, so everybody's not putting out their email addresses and all of their personal information. It is $1. If you go to the Patreon website, sign up for the $1 tier. I have a video posted with more details as far as pay, equipment, benefits, and stuff like that. And I also have the application process forms, questionnaire, and stuff like that on there. So again, www.patreon.com/HotshotAdventures. It's the $1 tier. I thank you guys so much for your support, so much for your interest, and I look forward to reviewing the applications.